So good evening and welcome to the Scare Tour Sunday synopsis for Sunday the 26th of September. It's almost Halloween. Yes, and good evening everyone, and this is the Scare Tour Sunday synopsis for Sunday the 26th of September. Yes, we are just a couple of days away from October, which means some of the Halloween events should have opened by now. We all know what's going on, and a lot of them aren't. So it's been another really bad week for bad news. A lot of events that had originally survived the first wave of cancellations, events that said, yeah, we can open, we've got COVID measures in place, we can know what we're going to do. A number of those have now gone down. They've either made the sad decision to cancel or have had that decision forced upon them. So we're going to start with the bad news again this week. So to start with, Kent Scareground. Now, Kent Scareground was being developed knowing all the COVID restrictions. They genuinely believed they could do an event, they could keep the social distancing, they could keep people apart, they could do what they needed to do. But with the new lockdown rules that came in this week, it was pretty obvious they just weren't going to be able to do it. So sadly, Kent Scareground have now confirmed that they will not be opening. They are teasing that they might do some scares soon. They're saying that scares aren't just for Halloween, so that might mean that we might see some other seasonal scare event. But yeah, unfortunately, they won't be opening for Halloween. Not long behind that, we then had the news that Terror Mountain at the Silver Mountain Experience in Wales will also not be opening for Halloween. They've been trying backwards and forwards. We've been in discussions with them quite a lot over what they can and can't do. But unfortunately, there's so many local lockdowns happening in Wales. Regions above them, regions below them are in lockdown and people can't travel. So the only sensible thing for them to do was to shut down. Also, STOCKELD Park, we're not sure when this announcement was made. We've just seen it on their website that their STOCKELD Dark event has been cancelled. They're still doing family-friendly Halloween, but they're not doing the scare event, which is unfortunate. We had the incredible farmhouse attraction, which actually won an award in the past. But yes, we know that STOCKELD Dark at STOCKELD Park will not be happening. Another big shocker was Scream Factory. Now, they have been absolutely confident they could open. They'd had clearance from a number of people. They were building a very COVID secure environment and they genuinely thought they could do it. But yeah, their local health and safety executive or whoever it was told them this week that they would not be able to open. They would not authorise them opening. So all the hard work that they've put into opening their event unfortunately means Halloween is cancelled for them. And it's not just the larger events. Darkwood Productions, who are a small local production company that were due to open a new event down in the London area, they've said because of COVID, they're not going to be able to. It's not worth them trying to do anything. Also cancelled. Now, this one's quite sad. So Fort Amherst cancelled their Halloween horror events months ago. And they said they were going to do Ghastly Ghost Stories, Ghastly Ghost Stories, which was going to be a new event, smaller groups, and they thought they would be able to do that. But even this week, they had to say, you know what, guys, we're sorry, we're not going to be able to do it. So Ghastly Ghost Stories at Amherst has also been cancelled for this year. Another event that was very confident they could do something was Scream Aloud. They had a number of attractions lined up for this year. But yeah, with the new restrictions in place this week, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. But with the new restrictions that came in, they've decided they are unable to open. Another one that reacted to the new restrictions this week was PRIMEVIL. They'd already cancelled their main PRIMEVIL event, so they were planning to do PRIMEVIL Route 666, which was going to be a mainly outdoor event. It was going to be a trail all the way around. But again, with the new restrictions, they've gone, you know what, guys, we just can't do this. So they have also, unfortunately, announced they will not be happening. Running out of breath here, but also Ilkley Scare Trails, which is a small event in Ilkley, they have said they will not be able to do their scare event this year. The start of the week, we saw that Psychopath, now we should have been at the press night on Friday. They announced on Monday that they would not be able to open. They are in a region that's in a lot of local lockdowns. There's a high infection rate in Newcastle, and they just don't think they are able to open. We also this week had the news that Scaresville, which again is another event that were absolutely adamant they could do it. They had all their COVID precautions in place, but they've said they are going to be unable to open. And finally, we have the Farm of Terror in Bacup near Manchester. They have said, again, because of coronavirus, they are not going to be opening. So that is a really big lineup of events that were all pretty keen to open and have now turned around and said they're not going to. So what other news have we got this week? There is some good news out there, but who knows what's going to happen? You know, there are very few events actually planning to open. There are some events which are in the middle of massive lockdown areas that I don't actually quite know how they're going to open, but no announcement yet. So unless anybody has announced they're cancelling, we are still listing them on our directory as due to open, and obviously we will update that as we get the more news. So what do we have? So Fountain Hall drive-through. So this was the place where Screamfields was going to be held, but because that got cancelled because of coronavirus, they decided to do a drive-through event. Over the last couple of days, they've obviously been working on it because that event has now become something called Fearfields. And we're looking for probably an extended run up at Thornton Hall, which is in West Yorkshire. So that's still going ahead. It's a drive-through event. You're trapped in your car. You can't touch anyone. So it's unlikely that would get cancelled by coronavirus. We also had confirmation that there are 2 mazes at the Warwick Castle After Dark event. This event is going to run for about 4 days over Halloween. It's different to their Haunted Castle event, which is only going to be a family-friendly event. And yeah, we shall hopefully see what is going to happen there. Extreme Scream Park also announced their maze this week, so they are still intending to open, and they revealed a logo for Belvoir Manors, which is the replacement for the Stilton Hall Hotel and Hell Spa. We think it's just a makeover with a lot of the touch points. For those who remember Stilton Hall, there are a lot of very tight spaces. There are the mattresses you have to push past, a number of squeeze tunnels, and obviously those will have to be removed to make the maze safe from a COVID point of view. Also, we've teased about it before, but LBE, so the London Bridge Experience, have said that they are going to reopen in October, and they are planning to announce their Phobophobia Halloween event. They have been closed since March, so it's great that they're open. Other permanent attractions like the London Dungeons, Passage del Terra have been able to open, so hopefully we'll get LBE, London Bridge Experience, up and running again pretty soon. Also in news, over in Ireland, Pharmaphobia have announced that instead of having 5 or 6 mazes, they will go to a one-way route around their event. There will be 3 outdoor mazes. They've got a large site there. We visited the farm last year. They've got quite a big area, and that looks like that's going ahead. That's about the only event in Southern Ireland that is actually going ahead. Wallaby Holland announced the Urban Legend Express, which is going to be a scary trip on their train by the sounds of it. And Adrenaline Escapes in Wigan have announced that the Terror Mall will be returning this year, and the theme this year is Terror Mall Infirmary. Also, we've had some news from a number of events and things across the country. So we've got the Mistress Morphine comic event, and you can see the graphics for that here. Pop Horror have announced they're doing a new event in October. This is live entertainment, drag acts and more at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern in London. Baby Lame's Video Nasties. We've seen Baby Lame perform a number of times, and this is a horror-themed show. So if you can't get to a scare attraction, at least go and get some horror-themed entertainment. In final news, we saw this week that the MacGuffin project in Bournemouth has closed down for good. We've experienced several of their rooms. Great spooky rooms, really good escape rooms, and unfortunately they have announced they are closing. And the UK Haunters DVD is out on Tuesday. So we reviewed that a couple of months ago. It's a documentary about the UK scare attraction industry. It's got some great footage, Broadwich Haunt Fest, and a number of other attractions, and it's just definitely worth checking out when that comes out on Tuesday. Finally, don't forget, we've got our daily countdown down by county. Every day at lunchtime, we announce a new event or new county and what's actually open. Obviously, this is changing on a day-by-day basis. Our What's On guide is constantly updated, but it just gives you an idea of what is open and what is currently planned. As you can probably imagine, most things are currently not planning to open. So there we go. It is only now 3 days till Halloween, and that was the Sunday synopsis for this week. It's going to get worse. I'm absolutely certain there are more events about to cancel. Every day, the papers, there's more local lockdowns, there's more issues. It said in the paper today that London is potentially about to go into lockdown. What those lockdown restrictions mean for scare events, we don't really know, but it's a very worrying time. Halloween isn't officially cancelled, but it isn't the Halloween that we all were hoping for and that we wanted. But, you know, stay safe, follow the rules, do what we can. We've got to get over this year, get through Halloween, get through Christmas, and hopefully at some point next year we can start to get back to normal, get out there and do some normal things. So with that, we're going to sign off. We're going to say stay safe. Don't forget, if you need a mask, we've still got Scared Tour branded masks available on the website. And with that, we're going to sign off and we will see you next week. Goodbye.